Hello everyone and welcome to another game we're covering from the FIDE World Cup 2025. We have a most exciting matchup as the difference in rating here is 679 rating points. We have from Libya candidate master Nagi Abugenda and from Turkey the legend himself Yagiz Erdogmus. And yes, okay, it's not difficult to assume who will do well in this game, simply because it's 679 rating points difference. But the game itself is incredible, and already, even before move 10, both of them start burning a lot of time as the position becomes incredibly complicated. And while the position that presents itself is winning, you have to calculate perfectly. So I think you guys will have a lot of fun with this one. And let me just check real quickly. I even have a nice photo. I think Vichy made it the first move. Sorry about that. Let me just check. There we go. Yeah, I know you guys would enjoy seeing a nice photo. Where do I have it? I think I do. Oh, man, so many photos. Where is it? 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 Yeah, there it is. Sorry. I was sure I had only a couple of photos here, but it turns out I have quite a lot. But there you have it by the official photographer of the event, Michal Valuza, or maybe it's Valuza. Sorry about that. Yeah, taking a bit longer, but all great things do. There we go. There we have it. Kaan ready to face his opponent, and his opponent at the board, Nagi Abugenda from Libya, candidate master. Vichy making the first move, and everything is set to go. Let's check it out, as it's quite an amazing game. So Nagi with white opens with pawn to e4. We have pawn to e6, pawn to d4, and pawn to d5. Okay, the standard French defense. And we have e captures on d5, which when you're playing against someone your own strength, maybe it's not the most interesting way to play because it's fairly easy for black to equalize. But here, facing a position that is so much stronger, I think it's not a bad way to maybe try. But still, I would say, regardless of the strength of your opponent, you should always play what you feel most comfortable playing. So maybe this is actually what Nagi feels most comfortable playing. And while 1972 is not the rating you're used to seeing on this channel, in the chess world, that number holds a very special meaning. But yeah, okay, e captures on d5. We have bishop to d3 and knight to c6. Okay, putting pressure on the d4 pawn, c3, and bishop to d6. So both of them, as you can see, playing very quickly. Kaan even instantly. We have pawn to h3. Today, not considered really necessary, but you are fighting against that bishop pair, so it doesn't hurt. We have knight g to e7, and now we have queen to f3. Again, knight to f3, more common here, even though this is something that rarely anyone plays with the white pieces. In the some 40 years ago, it has been played in maybe not the absolute top level chess, but in stronger tournaments. We have queen to f3 instead of knight f3, and now the question is what is your plan here as white? Yagiz Kaan just castles kingside. There are some games where bishop to e6 was played. He plays castles kingside, and it is now, as of move 7 already, that we have a completely new game. And this is not easy, confusing Yagiz Kaan like this. He already burned half an hour off his clock, and Nagi Abugenda has more time on the clock. So what is the problem here? Well, the problem for white is that it's very, very difficult to continue development. Knight to e2 is what was played in the game, and it is a fine move. For example, the engine gives knight a3, simply because it's very, very hard for white to navigate his forces. He does go knight e2, which is actually the second best move recommended by the engine, and officially the game is still equal. But here we have knight to g6, and now what do you play? That is the question. Again, very, very complicated position already, where you should just castle kingside. And it kind of is the first move that comes to mind. The engine also gives some queen h5 because you sort of paralyze that knight. But in the game, pawn to h4 was played. And again, without calculating deeply, it doesn't look bad. You're preparing h5, you're going to kick away the knight, you're going to open up this diagonal, the knight, you know, the king might castle, might even move to f1, the bishop comes into the game, maybe knight f4 once the knight moves, so it doesn't look that terrible. But okay, rook e8, the king is still in the center of the board, and now the question is, what can white play? Do you just go king f1 now and pretend like everything is perfectly fine? Because that is the top engine move. What happens if you play pawn to h5? That's one thing that we need to also discuss. Well, after pawn to h5, black is completely winning, but you have to see why. Knight h4 attacks the queen, and the queen really doesn't have all that many good squares. Since you played knight to e2, you cannot go back. You have to capture on d5. And you might think, well, isn't that just a free pawn and we're defending g2 and there are no discoveries that will win our queen because all of the dark squares are closed? No. There's actually knight b4, and that's the problem. This is why you lose, because now if you capture, then bishop captures with check, you lose your queen, and if you don't capture the knight, which of course yeah, you shouldn't do, you cannot keep control over this diagonal. You have to move to c4, then the knight is lost with check, queen captures, you can even go bishop f5, include as many moves and win as many tempi as possible before you capture on g2. If queen d2, knight captures on g2, check, king to f1, and now really anything but also queen e7 is perfectly fine. There's not all that much for you to do. If you capture, there's even bishop to e4, check, f3, bishop captures on f3, check, king captures, queen to e4 with check, king to f2, queen captures on h1, and that white king will not be able to survive. The rooks will get doubled up. The bishop here is a monster. The rook can also come to f6. So white is just getting crushed here. So you can play king f1. Like I said, it's still not that great for black. Maybe it's not lost by force, but h5, the move that was sort of your plan, doesn't work. And also if castles, then just queen captures on h4, and there's very little you can do here. If g3 now, you attack the queen, bishop g4, and it's just terrible. For example, you trade queens, captures, the knight moves, the rook comes into the game, the bishop pair is, I mean, it's also terrible for white. You're still getting checkmated here. So to avoid all of this, Nagi first played pawn to g3. As we've seen, the h4 pawn is a liability in almost all of the lines that we discussed, but now the position is still winning. However, you have to calculate perfectly. So feel free to pause the video. What do you play here as black, and calculate it all the way to the very end while I give you a couple of seconds. Yes, the only move that wins, and if you found this, congratulations, because it's really not easy to find, is knight c to e5 or knight g to e5. Either knight coming to e5 is enough to win the game. And now the problem is, again, the queen has no squares. You play queen e3, bishop to g4, and you can resign. There's no defense. Once the knight moves, that knight will get chopped off, and moving the bishop doesn't really help. What can you do? Bishop to c2, knight c4 attacks the queen. What do? There's really not all that much. The queen moves, you're going to capture. Sorry about that. I still don't know why you can make this arrow while going from the rook, but okay. And you lose on the spot. So after knight c to e5, the sacrifice was accepted, but it's only a sacrifice for one move. Knight captures on e5, attacks the queen, attacks the bishop. Queen captures on d5, although other moves aren't really that better. Bishop to e6. Attacks the queen. We have queen to e4. You have to keep an eye on that bishop. And now pawn to f5. Queen to e3. And now this is the move you had to see, because without this move, you still have to grind quite a lot. But if you find the black's next move, then you're completely winning. And I'm pretty sure Kaan found it all the way back when I asked you to pause the video for the first time. So what do you play here? Win for black? Well, I give you a couple of seconds. If you thought knight g4, it's a nice move and you're probably going to win, but it's not winning by force. Bishop to d5 is the move that wins on the spot, and now there's really not much more you can do here. And now Nagi already burned almost all of his time. He's down to 2.5 minutes on the clock, so he really tried to calculate his way out of this one. It just doesn't work. If you castle, I mean, knight f3 check, and that's it. Not only do you lose the queen, you also run into all sorts of windmill action here. And if you go king f1, which was played in the game, then just bishop captures on h1. There's no other way to do it. You have to move the king to avoid checks from the knight. Now bishop captures on f5 was played, and here comes bishop to c5, and that's it. Nothing more to be done here. He almost lost on time. He played his move with 1 second on the clock. He played queen to g5, tried to offer a queen trade, but he missed that. Queen to d1 was actually checkmate. So yeah, like I said, in terms of rating, okay, so much rating difference. You kind of had your suspicions that Yagiz Kaan will take this one, but it was not a simple game. It was not an easy fight, and although it's a very short game, checkmate on move 17. As you've seen, there was quite a lot to calculate, and Nagi really tried his everything to take down Yagiz Kaan. Wasn't his game. So yeah, Yagiz Kaan wins. He goes into the next round, and we'll see what happens there. I think the big guys come out and play on Tuesday. So until then, we're probably going to see a lot more games finish before move 20. But yeah, beautiful game by both of them. Very nice victory by Yagiz Kaan. And if you have any favorites before the top level games are happening, feel free to use that hashtag suggestion. I will gladly go over it. I would like to thank Francesco Corradi, Uzi Shalev, Francisco Santana, Deepak Gangadaran, and Eddie Sphere for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. Really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. Thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day. And if you also want to surprise your opponents like you've seen in this game, first link in the description below. Download Lotus Chess and really improve your game. It will teach you how to play engine lines, but that are really complicated for a human to deal with, and you will get very active play, sacrifice material. Basically learn to play like Bobby Fischer. And a lot more cool stuff is happening at Lotus. We're going to talk about it in a few days after we, when we'll have a live stream. We're going to have a nice tournament arena, and some very cool things are coming up. I would like to say more, but I think it would be better if I waited for the founders to join me, and we're going to discuss it all together. But yeah, something very cool is coming. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.